Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Healing Circle. This is session number 2 of the Healing Circle, and today we're going to be covering establishing safety. So what that looks like is that we are bringing people out of fear and we're bringing them into security through this session. So I'm going to lay that out for you today. If you're watching this and you're not in a great situation, please reach out. Please tell someone. Please don't let this trigger you. Please take action. Either message me or talk to someone, okay? You are not alone. We are here to support you. Okay, so this session is about establishing safety. Last week we did recognize, and we went through radical acceptance, which means there's a point in your life where you have to be 100% honest with yourself. Before you can be honest with anybody else, you must be honest with yourself in order to create change. And so what we need to do now is I'm going to jump onto the slides. So this is establishing safety. So we're building a safe foundation. We're taking you from fear to security. So I work with a stone process. And what we do is we need to find out the stones that have been damaged and we need to replace them with the ones that are not. So the stone process is removing something that is no longer working in your life and replacing it with what is. So for example, this is a fear. If you're still being triggered, let me give you a story. There was this lady, she was out shopping one day and she had moved into a new apartment. She'd left a relationship that was abusive and she'd established her life. She'd got a new apartment. She'd actually got a new job. She'd actually moved away from all of that, and it was way behind her, and it was a couple of years on, so she'd really done well with herself. However, she was walking down the shopping center one day with her trolley, and ahead of her was a man, and he had a young child who was being very naughty in the shopping center, and he started yelling at the child. Immediately, fear was activated. She was triggered. She had to pull the trolley over, and then she was out of there. She just left her food out of there, went home, and she recognized there was still trauma around her safety. In that moment, fear arrived. She didn't feel safe. She didn't feel secure. Now, what that is, that's triggering a trauma that's still unhealed. So when that lady came to me, we had to do some work. That's what I would call a stuck point, that she, even though her body has been, her body and everything is safe right now, she's in a new environment, she's in a new place, she's actually safe, but her body and her nervous system is still reacting to the sounds of shouting or the sounds of yelling, and she immediately is out of there. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to learn how to establish some safety and get some security around what you're thinking, believing, which is the stones. Okay, so this is obviously a 7-week healing circle. This is session number 2. What I do is I help people restore people back to their original condition before any damage was done. We do live feeds every Monday at 7 a.m. and I'll be doing 7 of these completely free. The replays will be in the Facebook group, but this is currently live at this stage. Okay, as I said, we're in the second part. So we've done recognize, we're establishing safety today, and then next week we'll be doing breaking old beliefs. So safety isn't something you wait for, it's something that you start to build. So just using that lady as an example, she had experienced feeling unsafe, even though there was no evidence of her being unsafe. It's just what her body and her nervous system told her. So what we're doing is we want to establish safety. Even we need to align her environment where she is safe with and her nervous system to bring everything back into safety. So why this matters, understanding what safety actually feels like in the body, the home, and the relationships, and that surround her. So it's important that what was happening in that moment in the shopping center, she was believing a lie. She thought she was personally unsafe, but in actual fact, she was safe. It was the event that triggered her had nothing to do with her, but in her body thought that it did. Okay, so let's get rid of some myths versus truth. Lies versus truth. Safety means nothing bad will ever happen to me. That is a myth. So safety means nothing bad will ever happen to me. So actual truth, what safety means is safety means she's built a foundation that's stable enough to hold her when the hard times come. So it's about establishing that and aligning your mind body connection to know that you are safe and getting those completely aligned together. So what we're going to do now is is called the stone process. And so we look at everything through the stone lens. So we look at the situation, we look at thoughts, we look at observe, and we narrate and we evaluate. So the question I'm asking is, what keeps me tolerating unsafety? So this is a question for you. So if you've got a pen and a paper, write that question down. So what keeps me tolerating unsafety? This is just an honest question that you ask yourself. What I want you to do now is write one word that describes what safety feels like for you. So this is different for everybody, but right now, you just take a moment. If you're watching the replay, just pause this right now and just reflect on those two things. So the stage declaration, I am creating a safe foundation for healing. So what we're going to do is to remove the fear. So this is the stone process. So I have 2 stones in my hand. So we're going to remove the fear and we're going to create security. So now I gave you an example of what that is with the lady in the shopping center. So let's have a look at what the fear was. So the fear was she heard the yelling and the noise, and immediately it was familiar to her body. Even though she's in a shopping center, she's pretty safe. Even though she heard that noise, it was the communication that her nervous system gave her was, you are unsafe, abort, run, get out. But in actual fact, if we were to look at the truth of the situation and we look at the security, she was actually in a very safe situation. That the father was angry at his child, not her. It was a completely isolated incident, didn't even involve her, but her nervous system communicated, get out, you're unsafe. Which that would tell me there's just some, we would need to do some deeper work on her safety foundation, her feeling safe in all circumstances. And that is a bit of a deep dive work. We're not going to go into doing that deep dive work here, but what I am doing is establishing with you if there are situations or circumstances that you have found yourself in, and I'm trying to help you understand that fear in that moment feels real. It feels like you're unsafe, but in actual fact, you're safe. So on Monday, we are going to go through stage B, which is breaking old habits. So before I do that, though, I want to just show you this. We have a workbook. You can't see it there. We have a workbook. It's called the workbook, the Rebuilt Workbook Bundle. It is very good it has got 9 workbooks in it. So if anything has been triggered from what I've talked about today, or anything is resonating with, okay, I might be feeling a bit unsafe, and you're not ready to come and talk to somebody, what I would suggest you do is jump on that workbook and work through that workbook. But today, that was our session today. Please let me know if there is anything that you anything that is triggering you or anything. Just message me. I'm here. Also, too, you can see behind me is I'm currently writing The Rebuilt Man. So if ever any men have watched this book is for you. All right, you have an amazing day. Thank you for joining me today on the Healing Circle. I hope that's helped you. Put any comments down below, and I'm happy to answer those comments. You have a great day. Bye.